count me out, bro. But God got me, so I'm blessed up. Brand new 223. I'm the shooter on the team. Stephen Curry, long range.
I got it, and you gon' respect it. Ain't nothing gon' stop me from making it happen. So baby, if they ask it, tell them. I go crazy.
What's up, everyone? How y'all doing out there? So today is a sensitive subject for me. I wanted to talk about spousal abuse. Me and Lena, we're gonna tell our side on it, how we feel about it, and get this thing going, man. So it's your boy Suave,
And it's your girl, Lena Love.
and we are here, man. We're finna get this thing cracking. So Lena, how was your day?
My day was actually pretty slow at work. It wasn't too bad.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. Hold on. I think my audio went out. I think I clicked something wrong. All right, give me a mic check, Lena.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm listening to the live and like I don't know. No, my day was a slow day at work, so I had nothing to really complain about this time. So
Okay. That's nice. All right, can you hear me now?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I can hear you now. Good. We good now. I hope you guys out there, I hope this subject is not too sensitive for y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? I know that at one point, man, spousal abuse was on the uprise, and people were just fighting each other in relationships, male and female, you know.
Yeah.
We got Cloudy V in the house. What up, Cloudy V? Cloudy V, you might as well go and change your YouTube channel to Cloudy V, man. That's got a nice ring to it. And we got your girl Leah in the house. So what do you do when your friend is in a relationship with someone and their partner hit on them, and they tell you, like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Lena, what you think?
I think
got
when
a
it comes down
homegirl?
to a situation like that, it's kind of like you gotta kind of be there for them as much as you can because you don't know what the situation is on the inside, like on their side, like at home. But pretty much just try to give them the best advice that you can that'll be the safest for them for a situation like that. Because again, like, people always say, oh, it's easy to leave a situation like a relationship like that, and it's not, because you don't know how extent that goes on their end. So it's kind of like you have to just give them the advice that's going to be safest for them.
Yeah. We got Leah up in here. She said, I've had this happen before, and you have to always have an open door policy. Although they may not listen, still be there for them.
Yeah.
And then she says she agreed with you, Lena. It's not easy for several reasons. So it's very uncomfortable when you have a loved one that is in an abusive relationship, male or female. Because I've had like some homeboys that they were in a relationship and their girlfriend just, what I'm saying, they're aggressive. And they're like, bro, I don't want to, of course I'm 10 times stronger than her, but I don't want to, like, what I'm saying, put my hands on her. Like, what I'm supposed to do. And it's crazy because it's crazy when you hear someone say that, hey, their girlfriend is beating on them. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Matter of fact, one of my homeboys, because we were like, man, just press charges on her, bro. You know what I'm saying? and we went with him to press charges on his girlfriend, and dude, they laughed at him. You know what I'm saying? So I
I
mean,
I think when it comes down to the man being the victim in those kind of situations, people don't take them serious because it's not something you hear often. You always hear about a man beating on a woman, but I think that's because men don't like to they aren't open about that happening to them. So it's rare, but it does happen. And I kid you not, they literally say that the rates of a man being the victim in an abusive relationship is higher than like it being vice versa.
I think that the in a lot of men's situation, we don't want to hurt the woman. You know what I'm saying? That's doing that to us. So our best option is to press charges on them or leave them alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if we go and press charges, we don't want to be laughed at. We want something done. You know, it's equally as something would be done if a man put their hands on a woman. Um, on another note, what if you're in a situation where this person, your loved one, is in an abusive relationship and you're like, hey, what you want to do? And they say, well, I don't want nothing to happen to him or her. I just, you know what I'm saying? I love him, I love her, yada, yada. What do you do in that situation? So, a good example, if you have someone and like if I have a homegirl and she tell me that, let's say she showed up, we chilling, and she got a black eye, and I'm like, dang girl, like where you get that black eye from?
Yeah.
She said, hey, my boyfriend, hit me or whatever, it's nothing, yada yada, I was hitting him too, yada 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 yada. I'm like, hey, let's I'm gonna go get him, you know what I'm saying? And then she say, nah, just don't mess with them. It's cool. I don't want nothing to go on. And it's funny because I've been in situations where you rough them up, and then they be right back with them. You know,
Yeah.
so it's like you in that situation, like man, all right. I mean, dang, dad, this dude almost put you in the hospital, and then we gave him some medicine, and you back with him. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, what do you do in a situation like that? For me, I just respect their wishes, and I'm like, all right, man, you know what I'm saying? But that's not cool. You can't keep going through that because one day he's gonna put you in the hospital. You ain't gonna make it out unless you go into the morgue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Um, I definitely agree. It's always harder when it is a loved one.
Hmm.
And I've seen it happen to a loved one before. And it always makes you feel uncomfortable, but then you also start to put your guard up because it's like, how do you go day by day and you see this stuff happen to someone that's close to you and someone that you love? Um, but then again, like, I feel as though like, they go back to them to avoid things from progressing and becoming worse. Because you don't know what the threats are like when they're with that person one on one after doing something like that, like going to the hospital and then coming home, you
Right,
know?
right. No, I feel you on that. It's that's a sticky situation though, man, to be in.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable because you're like, man, I don't want my loved one going through this. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's like so crazy. It's
Yeah.
awkward. My man D-Man said he'll probably still go ahead and rough him up a little bit, because it's a loved one. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's it's crazy, but this is a reality. And these things happen on both ends, males and females being a
Yeah.
victim. It happens on both fronts. Um, I really hate that it's like that, though. I really do. I wish that we can communicate more instead of rushing to go physical. You know,
Yeah.
I think that most people haven't mastered how to communicate in a
Mm.
situation like that. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's why, we always say like for me, I always say like communication is key. If something's bothering you, just be open about it. Talk about it. We can talk about it however, you feel is comfortable, but like still at least mention it and because I feel as though if you keep a bunch of stuff balled up, then that's what kind of causes you to want to like get rid of someone
Right.
in the worst ways possible. When I was with an ex of mine, um, communication was like the worst part about the relationship because if I felt as though it was never like clear and open, and then it just made you ball everything inside, and when you ball everything inside, you start having thoughts of wanting to hurt that person. And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like in some of those relationships, those thoughts become a reality, and then they just don't stop.
Yeah. My boy Cloudy V said that violence in a relationship needs to be addressed and snuffed out early, and not
Yeah,
ignored. I agree with that. I totally agree with
yeah,
that. And then your girl said, the girl Leah said, I think people are just doing what they saw growing up. And that could be a huge factor, Leah. It
yeah.
could
That
be a
could be a
huge
factor.
factor. You know, I
Yeah,
I was in a relationship with this girl, and she got mad at me. I was like, she was tripping. And I was like, hey, I'm
mm,
out. I went to leave out the door. This girl got in front of me and slapped me. Dude, it was so instant
oh my
that
god.
I was like, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? What should I
Yeah,
do? I just picked her up and threw on the couch and then walked out the door. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out. When stuff like that happen, I'm out.
yeah,
Like I don't have to because I don't want it to get too serious, right? And then I do something I'm gonna regret off of just
yeah,
impulse, like not trying to do it. Nobody's gonna want to hear that story. Like, hey, I didn't try to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, y'all weren't even there. You know what I'm saying? This girl was like, I was trying to walk away and she was
yeah,
attacking me, and then you know what I'm saying? She probably hit me multiple times before she hit me in a spot that made me respond. Like I
yeah.
guess the face and the eye or something like that is always a high respond point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I was gonna say, I feel as though for everyone, like the face is always a big no. Like because your face, that's how you know you really getting into someone's personal like space.
Mm-hmm.
So, I always say, listen, if we play fight, cool. The moment you hit me in the face, that's when things need to stop. Because that's just for me, like that's a trigger for me. I'm getting hit in the face. So, you know, growing up when me and my brother and sister and my dad we would all play fight, we just always knew never hit each other in the face because that's the trigger for everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
it was to also teach us like hitting people in the face is never okay.
Your girl Leah want to know from Cloudy V, how do you snuff it out though? Most people don't go to counseling these days. Counseling is like something people are afraid of.
Yeah.
It's like I think that question is for you, Cloudy V. Let us know what you think, man. How would you handle that situation? How would you snuff it out? I think one way, man, is just if you notice at the beginning that this person is an aggressive person,
Mhm.
don't continue on with that person. You
Yeah.
know, don't continue on because they're not. And if you feel like there's an opening for this person to change, you need to talk to them about that anger first before it turns on you, and see if that person even receptive to even listening. That's what I would say. What do you think, Lena? What would be a good way to really kind of reconcile that problem?
I agree with you. Definitely the moment that it happens the first time, that's when you need to like, retract yourself from the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you allow it to happen once and it just seemed like it's an okay thing, then it would become an occurrence. And then that person would think that's just okay. And that's never okay. So definitely
Mm-hmm.
after it happens the first time, just retract yourself, from the situation And then just be open and honest about how that made you feel.
Mm. Yeah, you're right about that, man. I mean, it's a hard pill to swallow, man, when you like you know someone that is in a relationship like that, and then
Yeah.
they don't want you to do anything to that person, or better yet, they don't even want to do anything about the situation. So they going back into it, and like you don't want to like report this, you don't want to like get away from this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think some in some situations people are they have abandonment issues. You know, they don't want to feel abandoned.
Yeah.
Like if I leave him, I'm gonna be alone. Or if I leave her, not gonna find anyone like her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I say leave.
And
I say
you know,
leave her, bruh.
right. I mean, I think that's the big problem today, right? So today everybody's used to having someone, and that moment you don't have someone, then you think to just settle for whatever else comes along. And
Hmm.
I think that's the major problem like we have today, is that people just settle for what's theirs so like that they won't be alone instead of really looking for someone.
Hmm. So Lil says, I don't think that they don't want to do anything. I think that they are hoping the person will change or trying to hold on to help that person. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I agree. I can see that from both ends. I still stand by what I said, but I also see that happening as well. I can see that
Yeah.
being the case. You know, um, that's crazy though, man. I shoot. So, have you ever been in a situation like that besides the one you just talked about, Lena?
Um, no. No, I was always that people say that I'm an aggressive person. I'm a very nice person, but the moment you like cross a certain line, I become aggressive with my words. Just
Mm-hmm.
because I feel as though getting physical with someone is never gonna help any situation. I feel like that would only make things escalate and make things worse. And
Mm-hmm.
to see that growing up, where when you see someone in an abusive relationship, as a child, for me, it just made me always say to myself, I never want to be in that situation. I
Right.
will try my hardest to never, allow myself to be in a situation like that. Because I feel like what happens is, um, people allow it to go on because, obviously you love that person and you're going to believe that they're going to change and they're not going to do it again. And then when it continues to happen, you kind of just put up a blind shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when it just never stops.
So D-Man said people need to pay attention to the red flags and need to be addressed immediately when something like that happens. There's nothing wrong with going into marriage counseling, but
Right?
if the same things keep happening over and over, then something needs to change. I agree.
Right.
And then Leah agrees with D-Man, but some people may not know what the red flags are, and they may ignore them because they are is excited to finally get attention. Yeah, I mean, and then she also said, "Yeah, you're right about that, D-Man." Um, I think that we have to find out, where it starts with our feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing a lot. Like to be confident, to know what's right, what's wrong, um, what what you can stand for, what's not allowed. We need to really evaluate the whole situation with ourselves and find out what is the right thing. Because if you have some love issues, you know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
abandonment issues or, attention, you want attention and everything. I get
Yeah.
that. But the moment that you realize, hey, I have an issue, I need to work on that.
Hmm.
Work on it before you jump into another relationship, you know? Anything you want to say before we end it, Lena?
Um, I just feel like I think the communication part is what people should really try to focus on, before those kind of situations happen.
Right,
If you ever feel uncomfortable in a situation, or you ever feel as though that something didn't sit right within you that happened, then address it. Because if you don't address it, then I feel like that's how it gets prolonged.
right. Yeah, I say, man, still, I agree with a few people that said in the chat that counseling, man, you shouldn't be afraid
Yeah,
of counseling. So if you're trying to save your relationship, you notice that this is someone that never been that type of person, aggressive in a relationship or whatever the case is. If you believe in that person, then bring it up to them to get counseling. And, if they're willing to change and see something wrong, they'll go. They'll submit to it and they'll go to counseling and they'll work it out, or anything, whatever you decide to work
yeah,
things out, whatever. Counseling may not be the thing for you guys in that relationship, but something definitely needs to change. And that's all I have to say, man. Lena, we had a good show. Uh, Next Wednesday, right?
yes.
Nice. But look, I'm gonna hit y'all with this outro. Thank you all for the support in the chat. We love y'all. We're gonna keep on hitting y'all with these hits, boy. Until next time, peace.
They be trying to count me out, bro. But God got me so I'm blessed up. Brand new 223. I'm the shooter on the team. Stephen Curry long range.
I got it, I got it, I got it, and you gon' respect it. Ain't nothing gon' stop me from making it happen. So baby, if they ask, yeah.